And it is this account that will lead me shortly to ask you what on earth Rishi Sunak is playing at. Whether he doesn't care about professionalism, integrity and accountability, or whether he doesn't understand why putting Suella Braverman back in the Home Office is almost overnight a complete dismantling of any grounds for the optimism that I described to you a moment ago. Let's begin at the beginning, if you didn't read the article. She said in her resignation letter that it was an accident, that her breach of the ministerial code, I'll say that again because, again, it used to matter and it needs to matter again. Her breach of the ministerial code was accidental. It was not. She deliberately sent 2 emails. Both of those emails constitute a breach of a ministerial code. She forwarded her own an email from her political account, from her ministerial account to her private account. And that ban is in place precisely because if you try to send something to someone outside government, a warning flashes up. I mean, it's anti-espionage, this policy in places, although I don't think anyone is actually accusing her of espionage, but it ensures that alarm bells ring in the event of a government minister sending government documents to email accounts that are not fellow cabinet ministers or fellow members of government. She said it was a minor document. That's not true either. It was a paper for a cabinet committee which had not yet met, about a policy that had not yet been agreed. So it's workings. It's confidential information about something that cuts to the very heart of government. It would have ended up as a ministerial statement, a written ministerial statement, which was part of her defence, but it wasn't approved policy. And that's important as well. She claimed that it was done at 4 o'clock in the morning after a long night's work. This is part of the accident defence. That's not true. It was sent at around 7:30, according to Tim Shipman's report in the Sunday Times. Her aides, Truss's aides, Elizabeth Truss's aides, and this is what I mean about him being a bloke that people talk to. Liz Truss's aides are adamant that she lied to the Prime Minister about this. She also claimed in her letter that she went straight to the Cabinet Secretary. Tim Shipman in the Sunday Times reports that she only confessed after Andrew Percy, whose aide was accidentally copied into the email exchange, went to the chief whip, who then went to Simon Case, the cabinet secretary. Lying about the time of an email is particularly stupid because, of course, anyone can see the time that it was sent. And now here's the really weird bit. She wasn't just sending stuff to her own Gmail account. She was then sending it on to an MP called John Hayes, who is a sort of rallying point for particularly right-wing Conservatives. She also intended to send it to John Hayes' wife, but accidentally sent it instead to Andrew Percy's parliamentary aide. He was he's a sort of mentor to right-wingers in the party, and Shipman reports rumours that she runs decisions by him before making them. I can't comment on the accuracy or otherwise of that. I can merely tell you that Shipman's reporting is absolutely first class and always has been. So there it is. The scale of Suella Braverman's conduct absolutely justified her dismissal by Liz Truss last Wednesday, was it? A week ago today, give or take, I think. And yesterday, Rishi Sunak brought her back after saying this.
It's a Labour Party, it's the Lib Dems, it's the coalition of chaos, it's the Guardian reading, tofu-eating, wokerati, dare I say, the anti-growth coalition.
Which just makes her ridiculous, not dangerous. What makes her dangerous on a moral or an emotional level is the fact that she boasts about dreaming of deporting refugees to Rwanda, a truly despicable intervention in British public life, the like of which we haven't heard or seen before, or at least not since Enoch Powell was shown the door by his Conservative Party leader. And, of course, it makes a complete mockery of what Rishi Sunak said shortly after becoming Prime Minister yesterday.
This government will have integrity, professionalism, and accountability at every level. Trust is earned, and I will earn yours.
So she lied about the offences that got her fired. She behaved with a complete absence of integrity. Her ludicrous comments about tofu-eating wokerati suggest that her relationship with professionalism is about the same as my relationship with playing scratch golf, i.e. non-existent. And the simplest notion of all, accountability, you will be held accountable for your actions, has been completely torched by the new Prime Minister on his first day in the job. So yes, I am going to apologise to you for expressing a modicum of optimism yesterday, albeit that it was sincere and it was in good faith and it was born of a patriotic thirst for a return to some semblance of good sense and stability in government, because what we have seen with the reappointment of Suella Braverman is that Rishi Sunak is every bit as bad as Liz Truss when it comes to competence, and every bit as bad as Boris Johnson when it comes to trustworthiness. And you can mock me and laugh at me and insult me for being surprised by that, but you can't knock me for being disappointed. Because if you don't want a return of some semblance of stability or good sense to government, then you're an idiot, regardless of what your politics are. I don't want your mortgage rates, thankfully, coming down a bit. He seems to have garnered some confidence when it comes to fiscal policy, when it comes to economics. But for goodness sake, if you could come in after, Mr. Blobby could come in after Liz Truss and effect an improvement in the market's confidence in the state of the British government. The rest of it, those 3 points, those 3 words, which actually warmed the cockles of my heart yesterday when I heard him say it, integrity, professionalism and accountability, have been completely torched within 3.5 hours of him uttering them by the reappointment of Suella Braverman to the Home Office. So I do apologise to you for being briefly and wrongly optimistic yesterday. But I'm afraid I would do it again, because I would clutch at whatever straw you offered me if it pointed to the possibility of a return to a political landscape upon which everybody agrees not only to abide by the rules, but also about the importance of the rules. 17 minutes after 10 is the time.